Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hale empath. I like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I just ate a candy cane right before I hit start stream, so I'm kind of fishing it out of my teeth right now. I'm almost there. Yum! Minty fresh. Peppermint. When you have an upset stomach, if you eat a piece of peppermint, it'll settle your stomach. It's why oftentimes you'll find peppermint candies in restaurants, like Mexican restaurants and things like that, that make you gassy. It reverses that. Nature gives us whatever we need to heal us. We just spend so much time freaking polluting ourselves, it's counterproductive. I've had a pretty good morning. I hope you've had a good morning. I just want to take a moment and invite God into the room. Check out. Hi, pretty boy. That's a man. You're being cute. We've had a pretty yeah. I like to invite God in. I like to let people know that this is a safe place where people can just come and hang out if they want, since they can't hang out with their friends. It's hard to make friends when you can't go out and play and freaking go places where people usually meet to gather. It's just so weird, man. When I was a little girl, actually, I want to tell this story first. Sometimes we're born into this incarnation. We just don't, we just don't jive with the parents that we choose or we're given, however you want to look at it, whatever your perspective is. We just don't, we're here to learn lessons from them, not necessarily get those warm, loving, kind feelings related to contentment and serenity. No. Oftentimes there's people born into this incarnation, and it's quite contrary. It's quite the opposite of that. So, but we have an opportunity to choose those role models in our life that are positive, that guide us to positive things and line of thinking, and put us on a positive trajectory and help us stay off a negative trajectory. You're so cute. Well, I was told a story the other night. The guy I picked, Mr. Iskey, he is the first friend I made at the aid shop when I was stationed at Offutt Air Force Base in Omaha, Nebraska. That's how I got to flip Baby Bush the bird on 9/11. Because I worked in the shop where he taxied by, and I hung my arm out the shop door and gave him the bird because I knew what a scoundrel he was, because I've been an empath my whole life. So, I asked him what his last name meant. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing. He's pretty... He's pretty open-minded. He's kind of an open book. So, and it's history, and this is how people learn actual history, not from reading it in books. It's from getting together with people that are older, the elders, and hearing the stories. That's how history is truly passed down. I got a new addition. I put the Kachina in here. It broke on the move, but I'll just get some wood glue and fix it. This guy, he likes to go solo sometimes, but it'll be alright. Anyway, and it was his mother's mother, I want to say. See, I got to clarify. So I halfway don't want to tell this story because I got to clarify. But I'll correct myself later and just go ahead and tell it because it's such a good story and it's so poignant right now. See, because there was a time that people used to come over from other countries to America. See, because America had the ideology of freedom. Now, granted, the whole time there were pockets of people, of races and different races and that were enslaved, and it's always gone on. There's always been that hierarchy of control and patriarchy, since the colonists came over here, took over, and started doing things because it's for everybody else's good. As the population of my ancestor went from like 8 million to 600, like 600,000, I think it was, for our own good. There's a couple of freaking Indian casinos here and there, but, you know, compared to a whole nation, the natives should just be grateful for what they get. They just make people, see, they prey on people's emotions. Anyway, so it was his mom's mom that came over, said goodbye to her parents from Germany or Czechoslovakia. I can't remember which one. See, I'll get more details later. So said goodbye to her parents at 16 years old, knowing, you know, that she'll never see them again. That this is it, and that she's going off to America to find a better life where people are free. And I just started crying. I did. I started crying. I welled up, and I was like, well, you know how, you know, her story is one of a lot of people. A lot of people that passed through Ellis Island, and a lot of people who didn't pass through Ellis Island. Okay? From all different kinds, all over the world. They came here because there was an idea for, and now I look at it and it's just like, there's this spirit of how this nation was intended to be, as if the colonists would have come over and cooperated with my ancestors, but they took over and killed and maimed and just did all kinds of terrible things, and then kept that spirit of how run things here, and of violence and things like that. And so all this karma has been built up year after year after year after year after year, and now we are here at the point in time where astrology says now people have to pay the piper. They got to pay the piper. So, because all those people didn't come here for that idea just to be told to stay at home. Do this. Everybody do this for somebody else's safety. Dude, I can't. When have they ever said anything true? So the masses of asses, the asses of masses. It's just so hard. And I'm a veteran. And I'm often, okay, can I get my inch and a half back? And in the 6 years that I gave, and what I witnessed in Operation Iraqi bullshit, what it did, what the reality of the freaking money system is, the machine is, to make people that, and the people that freaking benefited the most, they never get to see the monstrosities in which they cause. So now, you know, people, as spiritual beings, we're supposed to have human experiences, and everybody's supposed to have a broader spectrum. Zach from the Geometria, what's his channel? Zach, he got a taste of freaking the shadow side of people. He's lucky it didn't get worse. He's lucky he didn't get cursed up. Because those kids, these people, irrational people, their parents failed. I don't care how their parents failed. If they overcompensated by coddling them so much and giving them everything they needed, so when a situation comes up that they don't get what they want, then they physically act out. Or maybe they didn't teach them the means of how to keep themselves at an even keel and not get too worked up and lose their shit. You know? And when you live in bigger cities, you get a more concentrated puddle of freaking lower vibrational beings, of people that don't know how to soothe themselves because their fucking parents failed. And Geometria Effect News, he went out to Powell's books and was trying to spread truth and whatever, you know, and bunch of hotheads. See, I'm a hothead. That's the thing. Is once people are self-aware, you can't put your excuses on everybody else anymore. You can't do it. And I'm a freaking hothead. That's why I have funny haircuts. That's why I shave it all the way, and all the way, you know, I'll grow it out, but I'm a hothead. My bullshit freaking meter is about this long. So I don't put myself in situations that are freaking surrounded by some bullshit. Because you ain't gonna educate people that way. You're only going to get pepper spray. You know? And I could see that one guy, the guy in the gray, that was like, he leveled up too in his spiritual experience. He leveled up too. He didn't know which way that, you could see, I could feel the fear in people. Well, some of us trauma kids have to have some kind of bonus prizes for freaking the shit that we've dealt with. And I could feel it. And that kid, he was surrounded. They ganged up on him. And that's the mentality of some punk-ass bitches. People can't talk about things. Just has to go to blows. So what we're going to see is a whole fucking flare of blowing. Whole population of people. Because, you know, let me tell you a little bit about energy in my education. Electronics and physics and just human nature, man. Everybody knows, everybody feels like something's going down. I don't care what your economic status is. I don't care what your color of your skin is. I don't care what your gender is. I don't care who you like to sleep with. I don't care about none of that. If you are a human spirit that is more spirit than ego on this planet, everybody is feeling it. And it doesn't matter what your belief systems are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's wrong. It doesn't matter who's right. It doesn't matter who's a liar. It doesn't matter. It's how energy works. It's like when you walk into a room and a couple have been fighting. I can't tell you how many times I've done this. And I'm just like, whoa! What the hell? Who did what? You know? Holy heck! You guys want to finish talking it out so we go on with our day? Because that's some heavy, dense energy. People don't, and then they hang on to it, and they stuff it, and later they feel bad about it, so they eat something or they drink something shitty for them. I thought about it today. I got some oranges a couple days ago. Hey, get out of there! Get out of there! I want to see that! Blah, 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 blah. Lay down. Benny. So, and I went to go look at, I don't like the kind of oranges they are. They were on sale, so I got them. They're all orange on the outside, but they're all orange on the inside. They were like, I don't know, they're like cantaloupe color on the inside. They're nasty. I don't like them. But one of them was was by the, one of them I picked up, and it about, like, my hand about squished into it. It was that rotten, I guess is the word for it, rotten. Now, when I think of rotten, well, ever since I was a little girl, I always looked at food, rotten food, as like evil spirits that were attacking high vibrational things. You know, like brown spots on a banana and stuff. You know, I always believed in spirits and vibes and, you know, ghosts or beings, entities, and then it travels through our electricity system. That's why when people wake up at like 2:30 in the morning and they're just like, feel fear. Well, California, bars close at 2, so that gives people plenty of time to get into place and somebody take advantage of somebody. You can feel somebody doing something that they don't want to do. That's how energy works. See, the more people focus, that's why it's really important right now that it'd be best if you don't focus on any kind of outcome right now. That would be best, and just like stay in the present moment. It is so hard to do. Try it. Try to be where your hands are. And not think about anything outside of your current. It's not easy. It takes a lot of practice. How often do I see it? I see like parents get frustrated with kids, and they're not, it's like, yeah, they're annoyed with what the kid's doing, but I know that what they're thinking about is like they're thinking about like something at work, or they're thinking about, you know, getting a fight with their spouse or something like that. And then the kid annoys them, and then it just adds to it. Because they're thinking about something outside the room. Being present is not easy to do, man. It's just not. I have to try every day. And that's the only time I get really discontent or I get really uncomfortable. It's my own fault because I'm not thinking about my own local freaking area, you know. And there is so much going on outside in the world. There's so many people hurting. There's so many people. See, that's the thing is, people want this mass awakening. But what comes with the mass awakening? So much pain. People remembering freaking terrible things, man. But people want it, so it's gonna happen. And until they get it, until they get something, they get a whiff of a flower on the breeze, and it takes them back to when they were 2 years old, and that really weird thing happened, which releases. And that's why people like me live and exist. And people, more important, she's bigger than me. Jesse's a boater, and what they all do, because I'm never gonna be big. Heyoka like me, maybe other Heyoka. There's one dude, he's big, but dude, he identifies Heyoka, and I don't think I could even hang out in the same room with him, honestly. You know, but people want what they want. People are drawn to like attract like. There ain't a lot of people like me. That's why I ain't gonna never draw no freaking big numbers. You know. Nope. So people like me have had to go through a whole lot of freaking nasty, shadowy, evil, wicked, nasty crap. And deal with every single bit of it. And process it. And transmute it. And don't let it make you mad. That's how people go mad. Have you ever heard those expressions? Going mad, they went mad. When the pain surmounts the amount of joy that people have, because people don't know how to find gratitude or live in. I get to go out even when I let it's cold. It's been so cold in the morning, like dude, like cold. And I had to put on a hat because right after I get my haircut, I get cold. And we're supposed to get but last time we were supposed to get snowy and get squat, but we'll see. We're supposed to get snow overnight. But I just look around and I just marvel in what God has given me. I marvel in it. It's marvelous. How Mom and I got from me having that dream 2 years ago of the water rising, and it wasn't creek water, it was in fact seawater in Salem. Because people aren't getting it, and when people don't get it, then they get it. And there's a lot of seismic activity all over the whole planet because people aren't getting it. I like to watch the footage of volcanoes erupting, and there's one in Indonesia. And it's like, because every time my body remembers, my spirit freaking perished in Atlantis. That's why my spirit it gives myself signs, and I listen to my spirit, and then I follow my spirit. And it got me to New Mexico. I don't know nobody knows what's gonna happen. I don't want, and then I get glimpses here and there, of things that could happen. Try not to land on anyone, just like letting these thoughts be a train and not jumping on any car. Just let it go right on by. Just don't pay no attention, because we're just radio receivers, picking up on data. So how many thoughts and shit are ours? And when you live in a closer proximity to a lot of people, I could imagine living in a freaking apartment complex right now. No, I'm too sensitive. People got to figure out their sensitivities, and even if they can be, because I can't be around people a lot. I gotta be selective of who I'm hanging out with and put my energy with and stuff like that. And it makes me sad because I put so little effort into like having relationships with people, and then when I try, and then it's just like they don't want to, because they don't recognize themselves in me. I recognize me in them, and they just don't recognize it back. So. But supposedly I'm supposed to be finding my same freak tribe. Supposedly. But heck, you know, I'm going to be so busy in the yard and cleaning up and making things comfy. You know, and learning about stuff. I go out in the morning and I'll grab my camera and I'll just listen to the birds, man. It doesn't matter where I go, there's birds everywhere. So many different, and they're new birds. Birds I ain't never seen before, so I get to learn about new shit. It's cool. It's like these blackbirds with the white wings. And so, and I just watch them, you know, because they're just spirits. They're just little soul sacks, too. That's all birds, cats, dogs. Out there, everybody is carrying a spirit. And what you recognize in them is just like, the more you reflect and recognize the spirit in every, or energy field in everything that is around you, you start making the connections that are more positive. And stop paying attention to the stuff that you don't like. How much time are people spending on stuff that they think is crap? I understand keeping yourself educated, but when you're staying in stuff that is just so low vibrational, you're just staying in low vibrations, you know? And that's when the nefarious win. I was reminded of something earlier. It was cool. It was a... I can't remember who... I was like, man, I gotta talk about that. That sounds smart. I gotta talk about that. That sounds smart. But I don't know, I'm not complaining. I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful, because I've connected to every single person I've ever really wanted to connect with. Like we've made eye contact. Me and Saguru. That was back in 2016. Saguru. We made eye contact. Dolly Parton, I made eye contact with her. I got a point and a wink from her. It's because I had this big smile. Did I have braces then? I think I had them off then. But I had a big old smile and a bow tie, you know, and I think I had my orange pants on and probably like a really bright cut. I stand out in the crowd, that's for sure. So, I don't know. And like, I get to chat with Jessie every now and again. I'm in her DM. I like to send her pictures. Autographs, see. She put out a video this morning that was cool. I think it's something that she wrote. It's more of an adult content. It's not for her stuff. But she's a what do you call it? Chaplain. See, and I consider myself, see, that's why one of the reasons why I called the talk today Recovery in different varieties, because what we're going to find out in this next year is everybody is recovering from something. And everybody that puts on this earth is put on this earth to learn how to recover from something. Are you pissy? Who's pissed? Oh, she got mad. Oh, Benny. What's your name, bud? He's a Marge and Benny got up and got yelled at and this. Woo! Okay. I need rugs. I need rugs for the dogs. You want to go see Loretta? Come on. Come on. Get up there. Come on. Come up here. Come here. This man's more coming for dinner more. It is a good old dog, Margie. Not Margie, nobody Margie, but in a good way. Everybody is recovering from something. You know, and if you're young and and hopefully you haven't had a lot of, like, you know, hadn't seen too much scary stuff and things like that. That hopefully that you have adults in your life that teach you to help you process through scary things and teach you how to talk about your emotions. Or even when you get excited, just talk about and learn the words to articulate how you are feeling. And then so when you feel bad or low or down or negative, that you don't not talk about them and keep them inside. And then later, when you're doing something else, playing with your baby brother or sister or the dog or whatever, you think about that thing that makes you mad, and right there you take it out on whatever's around you. Because we already know what happens in society when we live that way. And so, some of us have had to live through a lot of really terrible situations, really terrible, just so that we can teach other people that you can still live a joyful, happy life now. And if you want to, every moment, one day at a time, until you take your last breath and go off out into what I call the soul, S-O-U-L-A-R, soul, S-O-U-L-hyphen-A-R, soul, because that's where all of our spirits go. See, when Gina, that Gina UFO lady, when she posts her stuff, I'm like, that's what spirits are doing when they die. That's like, whoopee! You know, they're doing their... So when she gets video recordings of these celestial beings, they're actually like Uncle whatever, you know, Pete Mannion out there, his would probably be red and blue. I'm not a sports fan, but I like people that like sports. So he was a New York Buffaloes fan, so he's spinning up around there, you know, connecting with people. And then whoever is Pete's frequency is going to be out there walking their dog because he loved dogs, and then they're going to happen to look up and then freaking tune in with Pete. What's that? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And then they'll start thinking about Pete. But what they don't know is they're hanging out with the frequency of Pete. Or whoever. You know? You're walking along, not being in the present moment, you know. I think about people all the time, and I'm like, I wonder how many, because usually, before, not so much anymore, because I stopped being the front. I always initiate. I'm tired of being the initiator. I mean, sometimes I get in and move. I get the moment, and it moves me to be the initiator. You know, reach out to them, but not raw. Usually, I'm just like, I'll play the tape through and then be like, okay, leave them in the past. Because most people just belong in the past. The thing of it is, the hard part is like meeting people, and when you meet them, you're like, oh my God, they remind me of so-and-so. Is so-and-so somebody that's in the past? Because you can bring so-and-so into your present by just knowing someone that's like, you know, like them. People do that stuff all the time too. There's all kinds of ways to bring into your past into your future. And there's all kinds of ways that you can leave your past in the past. You know, the density. Because God, sometimes you just hang out with people that just make you feel bad. And I don't ever want to be that person, man. And I know it. I can feel it. I can feel other people when they're like, I don't like it, you know. Then all of a sudden it's like more effort to hang out with me than joy or whatever. Gotta make sure the dogs aren't being all crazy. So, anyway, I made notes. So we're you know, the people. Things are gonna be different going on because people are gonna want to. Of all the different varieties of places I've gone where people have connected to recover, the best evidence I have seen that people do the best and prosper the best is when they're connecting to other people that are like them. Is that when they can tell their story to people that have gone through situations like them or worse. It is not. I've been through a lot of counselors, therapists, psychologists, just to see where my baseline. And then what occurred to me is, I'm going to check in to see what my baseline is by people that have just read books. And these people that have never really gone through anything, because they just gone through the same college that their parents went to, and they always lived in the same town. They've never actually really gone through jack squat in life, but they're gonna sit there and listen and tell me that I handle situations accordingly, contingent on textbooks that they've read, written by other people that have read textbooks, that have watched people that have gone through crazy shit, but have never actually done it themselves. And there's a lot of people that have gone through crazy shit that won't even go and talk to those people because it's all bullshit. But more people are going to find their heart space and come and connect in places like this and just freely talk about things and maybe get past, because people, that's the thing. Bad stuff happens to people, and then people tell them not to talk about it, or they feel compelled not to talk about it, and that's when things fester, and that's how cancers are caused. That is how cancers are caused, when people just don't talk about their emotions. Or not living in a way that you want to live. I did it for years. I overcompensated. Oh my goodness. So when parents fail, talk it out. People have no urgency. Customer service is dead. It's just dead. It's like now it's like somebody needs something, and the people that are supposedly providing services these days, because they know people need what they got, so they are so fucking asshole-ish about it. And you could really tell when they're really control freaks, because I went into fucking Ace Hardware, I'll never go back, because I had a visor on, and then the fucking old dude that has been irrelevant for far too long than he probably even knows about, on my way out, was telling me that I happen to have one of these on. And get the fuck out of here, dude. I'll put my gas mask on. Go walking around in my gas mask, because, that's what happened is, I was off it, and they were exercising every month. They were playing, that's what they do, is they play war, they say, what did this happen? And then make those scenarios. And some of these mentalities are left alone to their own devices to do whatever they want because of who they are. And what they want to do is weird shit. And a lot of them got away with it for many years. That's what it fucking tainted the military for me. Because of the fucking scoundrels and the assholes. They're in every group. They're everywhere. It's the ideology that takes away that everybody has a voice in how things they should be, and they just start doing things for our own good and for our own safety. So when I think about all the people that came over to America for a better life, I wonder if they're fucking wrong, excuse my language, they're trying, if they're freaking, like, they're the spirits right now that are freaking out and telling people, dude, what are you doing? This is no way to live, because there's so many people, and that's what all this collective energy I feel is, and nobody should be using their life force energy for negative. Nobody should be breaking stuff. Nobody should be being violent, spraying stuff, and that's cheater bitch stuff, man. That's little bitch shit. That's how little bitches behave. Portland! The whole world is past it. But you're stuck in a time loop. Hey, you little freaking little bitches spraying stuff in people's faces out in front of Powell's Books in Portland, Oregon. Your parents should have sat down with you when you were small children and told you that you don't act out, that you need to have emotional control. And those little bitches don't. And just remember that in the next 3 days, when you're out on the street. I'm a hothead, I won't be out there. I don't go into places, it's just, I listen to my mother. It took me years and years and years, but she said it's easier to stay out of trouble than it is to get out of trouble. And let's see how many people choose the righteous path in the next few days. There's better, positive, more constructive ways to lose your, and there's so many, I see so many people that are coming into their addictions. This energy's too much, so I'm going to freaking self-medicate, and look at all the junkies that are going to die. Pills, opiates, Valium, Big Pharma. There goes the Kundalini life force. Just keep looking out for the celestial, the new star formations, because the next week, so many people are going to freaking just ascend. Because they don't get that you can do that without dying. But it's just too hard. It's too much work. I should see if there's anybody in the talkie room. I should go, actually. I've been running my mouth for far too long. I told Mom I'd make her blueberry waffles this morning. Never done it, but I got some fresh blueberries in the refrigerator I gotta use up. So I'm gonna give it a go. So she's having her energy. See, it's when there's all these potential. Chess is just so old. It's just always, and she has an upset stomach, and she just had one, but it's just always, I know biology, and it's just whatever. Love them while you got them. That's what I say. Love them while you got. Just love the people around you while you got them, and don't spend your time being bad. Especially if it's shit that didn't happen anytime. Gosh, I hate people when people are like make it all cliche. Say hi. Are you high vibe? Are you high vibe? No, I'm low vibe, but I'm trying to keep. I'm trying to maintain it. Up here. Because there's so many people that are low vibrational, I can understand how easy people get caught up to get, be like them. Well, what do we do next? I'm going to start, I think that people need to live local. I think that people need to live local. And I have all kinds of ways to help people. There are so many different ways to, all you have to do is be in the presence of a person, and it's just like, what could I do for this individual to make them joy? What if I were them? What could I do that would make me happy? And it's not hard to do, dude, because mostly people are the same. It's the no vibrational ones, the ones with that spirit has completely voided, has left them. We need them just as much as we need the do-gooders. Okay? Because some people want to worship Satan, want to live for Satan. Some people like money. Some people like chasing sensations and doing all that gerbily bung weird stuff that they've always done. Some people, they incarnate to have that experience, and don't think for 1 second that as a spiritual being, we've never incarnated like that. And if you haven't, you're gonna, because everything is full spectrum, so everybody's gonna live. I always picture like a color wheel, like where you like when you go into editing photos and say I wanted to do a markup. Okay, so you go in here. God, how many clicks does it take to get to the center of a So if you want to do a markup, and so I picture this, okay? We are all just shades of the same color spectrum. Every single one of us. Every one of us has incarnated as one of these shades. Okay? It's what you do with it. It's how you vibe with it. Are you bringing more positive into your close proximity? Or when you walk into a room, are you that suck? That, oh God, here she comes. Oh no, there she is. Oh geez, it's her. I just always try. That's what it's all about. And the more people live their local proximities and be more of the plus in a situation, and not a draw, an add, not a draw, applied current, me. But people have lived this existence of just this direct current, and you don't go over more than 210. You know? But there's all this up here. When you apply it, science is fun. So I think I've run my mouth long enough. I'm going to try and make some blueberry waffles. I hope, you know. And it ain't easy, and that's the thing. That's what I talk about is it ain't easy. Because freaking oftentimes I just feel like shit. I just feel bad. And just to go on because you can't take when you feel bad out on other people. It's another thing that parents failed on teaching them. That when you feel bad, you don't get to freaking take it out on other things. So the only script that we have, you know, we all know our script. Nobody else knows our script and how we think they should act and all that stuff. So I like to think that there's no script. I really like to let people live free, whatever that entails. Whether I disagree with it or not, and most people I don't agree with because I'm a Heyoka and I follow the logic of the thunder gods. We're contrarian. We aren't made to look at things. I mean, we see things how you. I see how I can understand why anybody acts the way they act. Any crime of passion, I get why they do it. You know. I understand why people act the way they act in a very high perspective. I also understand we have free choice and that you don't hurt people. We're going to have a lot of people that are going to learn their lesson. They're going to hurt people and they're going to learn their lesson. So who's going to be open-hearted enough to forgive them? Who's going to forgive the scoundrel? Because you got to forgive everybody, right? Because forgiveness isn't something that you do for the person, you do it for you. Resentments? Drinking poison and expecting somebody else to die. Did it for years. It's hard to live different. It's hard to look at your character defects and see how you're the asshole in every situation. It's also hard to say, no, I was not wrong here, and to stand up for yourself. Accountability? Self-accountability? I find it by getting in touch with God, a higher power, getting quiet, meditating, listening, and learning how to turn the other cheek, because I haven't always. And if other people want to learn how to do this, there's just so many practitioners. All you got to do is be open to it. When you're open to things, what you receive vibrationally, frequentially, it's all divine. That's what I got for now. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.